August the 6th or 7th or the 8th or something like that, and everything is going great guns at the allotment. I've got this on again, look, I'm going to give this another go, my little doolally thing, so I'm all plugged in, so I'm really hoping at long last, after 2 years of making videos, I might finally have cracked the sound, so do wish me luck. What I want to do today, I'm going to show you, oh, it sounds so exciting, show you some tomatoes and a problem. I'm going to sort out the squash patch, which is why I'm pointing at the straw. I'm going to sort out the, well actually I'm going to show you what we've got on the brassica bed, which I'm quite excited about. We've got some brassicas as well. And what else? Oh yeah, on the last short video that I did, I showed you the onion harvest. So come inside the shed and we'll take a little look at them. Okay, we've got the onions drying out now on these makeshift racks. When I dug them up the other day, I just placed them flat on a table. It had like some, well, it had a bit of staging on top actually, so there was some air circulation. But when I came along a couple of days later, some of the leaves had actually started to look really manky. I mean, you can see that one there, actually. It's drying out now. I'm wondering if I should, I don't want to pull it if it's not just going to come off. But yeah, some of them had really started to go a bit mushy. So I was aware that I needed to get them upside down as fast as I possibly could. So that's what we've done. We've got the Stuttgarter Giants, let's see. Stuttgarter Giants up there alongside their red onion friends, the red Florence. Now, if you can see that one, we haven't grown these before. They look more like the banana shallot, but they are just red onions. The only problem with these is, look, they slip through the gap quite easy, so I have to keep making sure they stay there. The rack's moving now, it's like being on a ship. Anyway, yeah, so that's the first lot drying out. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to plat them. I haven't got enough soft neck garlic to plat, so I'm going to have a little play with my onions. Not yet, it's going to be a few weeks yet. But yeah, I'm quite proud of them. At last, a crop of onions. And this is what I mean about the garlic. You can see they've dried out beautifully now. I spent a good few merry moments the other day cleaning them up, and I have trimmed the roots now because they were nice and dry. But you can see I actually haven't got very much. A bit disappointed. I have taken quite a few home. I've probably taken about 5 or 6 bulbs home. But I was hoping to be able to do all these absolutely beautiful garlic braids that we keep seeing, but I haven't got enough. I've got the soft neck garlic, which would have been perfect. I think that's early purple white, and that's got a lovely, well, as it says, lovely soft neck. And then I've got this hard neck type, just softening a bit, I suppose, as it dries out, which I got from Wilkinson's. Not sure what it is, but much smaller bulbs than these ones. So yeah, so I'm going to leave the platting of those this year and plat the onions instead. That's going to be fun. I don't know if you can pick this up, but there's a very naughty spider who comes along, and bless him, he builds this web every single night. I don't know if it, can you see that? It's literally there. It goes right across the door, and I feel so bad because, you know, aside from going under it, under here, which to be honest, I don't think my hips would let me, I've got to get rid of it. And I feel like he's put all this hard work in, and I'm just going to have to go like that. So I have to apologise every day to the spider gods that I'm doing that. Anyway, oh, hold on. Let's have, hey! Oh, this is nice. Okay. I'm trying to read this through the screen. Hold on. Aromatic beetroot. Oh, this is lovely. This is some allotment neighbours of ours, Sid and Karen. They were talking about what they do with their beetroot, and they've passed on the recipe. So, oh, right, okay. Hey, that's something to try tonight. That's lovely. You know, isn't that lovely though? That people just pass things on like that. Anyway, what I wanted to show you in here was, well, if I just zoom back again, you can see everything's going great guns. No blight yet. In here it's mainly tomatoes. We've got a couple of cucumbers at the end. Where are we? Where are we? I've got the sun in my eyes. A couple of cucumbers at the end, and we've got chilies up in the corner. But what I want to show you today is what happens if you do not water regularly. You get this effect on your tomatoes. Now, I've got to be honest, I'm not too bothered, because what I'm going to do, look, that's just fallen off. This is a marmande, so it's a beefsteak tomato. Another one here, look, and you can see the ones that haven't even started to ripen, well, they've started to ripen, have burst, and that is purely my fault. It's erratic watering, which, oh, that one's not coming off so easy. There we go. Which causes the fruit to put on a bit of a growth spurt and basically pop out of its skin. But not to worry, it's still edible. So I'll take that one home, take that one home, shame about that one. But if you look at how I water them, I've actually got these ones in trays. And so what I tend to do, I need to do it now, the soil's actually damp, but I tend to put water in the tray, oh, a couple of inches, and then just leave them. Whereas the ones on the other side are in the soil, and not only in the soil, but they're in pots. They're either in these halo pots or just ordinary pots. They've got the bottoms cut off, and as you can see, I mean, these aren't marmande, so that might be a difference. In fact, let's see what these are. These are the Crimson Crush. They're absolutely fine, and I water them all at the same time. So yeah, just something to be aware of, really. What else have I got in here? Oh yes, this is what I wanted to show you. Very proud of this. My first ever, and I mean ever, aubergine. You see that? No idea of the variety. We were given the plants, so it's all free. It's obviously not one of the fat ones that you get in the shops, and I'm not quite sure if it's ready to pick, but I think I'm going to come along and pick that anyway later on, but I might need a pair of scissors. So yeah, so tonight's tea is going to involve a long aubergine and 2 burst tomatoes. Oh joy!
Okay, this is this is what I mean by sorting out my squash bed. It's got a bit mad, and I know squashes are meant to go mad, but I did really well to begin with. I gave them the right amount of space. I put tags in, which were about that big, and I've pretty much left them to it, which results in this. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to try and find the middle of some of the squash, and then I'm going to cut some bits back. Because, for example, you can see here, that poor tomato plant is being engulfed by what can only be described as a small squash. So yeah, this is all going to have to be chopped back a bit. I'm going to try and find the ends of the what do you call them? The ends of the stems, the ends of the things. Anyway, and excuse me, and trim them off, and some of these side leaves, because to be honest, I think they're just a bit much. So yeah, so I'm going to do that and try and rescue the tomatoes, poor things. Wish me luck. What I've found, I don't know if you can see that,
yeah, this sort of just going through the patch just helps you pick out things like this as well. This is a little patty pan squash which has gone off, so always good to get that sort of thing removed as you're going along, so yeah, it makes it worthwhile. Okay, one of the next things that I need to do regarding my squash, I hope you can see me there in the shadow of this huge sunflower, which is actually quite nice because it's quite a bright sunlight there. It's basically get my fruits sorted. This is an absolutely, well, I hope it's going to be beautiful. It's the first time I've grown it. It's Crown Prince. Apparently it gets like a beautiful like grey, blue, deeper coloured skin, and inside's meant to be this deep orange when you cut into it, and it has an almost chestnutty flavour. So I'm really looking forward to that. Apparently it stores really well. And yeah, it's one of those things I'm just so pleased it's actually grown. You think, my goodness. But now it's grown and it's growing well, I don't want anything to come along and spoil it. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if you do this, is actually a little bed of straw, because if we can get a little bed of straw, just to sort of give it something soft to sleep on and try and keep any nasties off it, really, off the soil. One of the things I'm never sure about, and this is, I've been gardening a fair while now, but I still haven't got this clear in my head. If you put straw down, to me, that would encourage slugs when it gets wet, because it would just be a nice wet mass for slugs to go in. But then why do you put straw under strawberries? So I've obviously got something wrong there. Anyway, yeah, just a little bit, just to lift it off the ground. I know some of you use different things. Check it's all right underneath there. In fact, I'm going to turn it slightly. Yeah, that's perfect. I don't know if you can see that there. Can you see that? That's just perfect. And yeah, just give it something to sit on. And roll up. It doesn't like its little bed. Okay, take two. That's typical me, isn't it? I never try out first. Right, okay. I'm hoping it doesn't break now. Right, okay. Get on there, you little Crown Prince. Okay. What I've done here, I've given the tomatoes quite a good haircut there. There's leaves there, there's leaves over there, and basically I'm not too bothered about any more fruit forming now, because all I really want is the fruit that's on there to ripen. And I sort of think I found blight on my red pear tomatoes, which are these ones here, which I wouldn't even mind. I didn't even want them, but I found the seeds and thought I'd give them a go. So I've got red pear, marmande and crimson crush in there. Now, being as crimson crush is resistant, or supposed to be resistant, we shall see. I think this one's crimson crush. We shall see which one's fair against the blight or not. Anyway, I've given them a good haircut. It's nice and bright and warm at the moment, so they'll have a good dry, a bit of a ripen, and I'll give them a bit of a spray with the soluble aspirin as well. And fingers crossed. Okay, hold your hats. Crikey heck, look at this. This is what happens when you completely neglect your fruit cage. It's lovely, but even this is a little bit too much. The autumn fruiting raspberries are starting to come. You can see I've actually missed quite a few here. These are just starting to go over. So, oh my goodness, look. Yeah, I really need to get down here in a minute and start picking them, because they are falling from the bush. There's one. Look at that. Perfect. I do prefer a raspberry to a strawberry. Tell me what you think. But as you can see, they are so ripe now. You see that? Starting to go a little bit there. There's too many. So the idea is, this year
I'm going to remove, oh wish me luck with this, remove all the raspberries from the cage. I mean, they are the autumn fruiting ones, so I'll be able to cut them right down, so it'll make them easier to move. I'm going to move them all from here so that I can then give the currants and the gooseberries the room that they deserve. Because I mean, bless them, look, they're all squished. So I shall move some of those round to take up this space, and then I'm going to transplant the raspberries. I'll choose the healthier canes because there really are too many, and put them, hold on, here I go, stepping out, oh dear, put them along here, because to be honest, we can keep the flowers here. I haven't really looked after this as I should have done this year. This has all just been flowers planted. It is, however, full of bulbs, but I reckon I can leave the bulbs in because for a few months those the raspberry canes are going to be cut right down, so the bulbs will all come up and do their stuff, and then by the time they've finished, the raspberries will be up and growing, so they should work quite nicely together. But yeah, that's quite a job to get done for the the autumn. Planning ahead already for next year. But you know, we live and learn, don't we? We live and learn. This is our new addition to the allotment. It's a bit like Emperor's New Clothes. I could say it was a polytunnel, but it's not a poly anything, it's just a tunnel. And it's naked. As in, we've been given a frame. Look. It has no covering. So the idea is, it's quite easy to move. It's actually quite light, comes apart quite well. So we're going to get some sort of netting to have around it, and we'll have like a walk-in brassica cage. We didn't do too well with our brassicas last year, but I've got to say, let's go and have a look. Come and see them. They are actually doing really well this year. I wish I could remember the names. Michael, no. Look at that. Look at the red cabbage. It's hearted up beautifully. The green cabbage, Savoy, that's what it is doing well. And actually, we've got another netted bit there with enviromesh over, which, yeah, the white cabbage in there are doing quite nicely. They're hearting up nicely. But, yeah, we weren't going to do brassicas because they got so ravaged last year, but obviously under net, they did quite well. So, we reckon that we'll be able to cover all this and have a proper like walk-in brassica cage. Thing is, what do we use? We don't want to use enviromesh because that would cost an absolute arm and a leg. People have mentioned scaffolding netting. Someone else has mentioned the butterfly netting that you can get. But I don't know, I'll give you an idea. I think it's about 10 foot long and about 8 foot wide. What would you use? Give us an idea. What would you use and where would you get it from? Comments below, please. Okay, another thing I want to get done today is, sorry, it feels really strange being this far away from the camera, especially because there's a strimmer going on behind me. So I really, really hope that this is working. Anyway, last time I came down, or actually not last time, a couple of weeks ago, I dug up the start of our early potatoes, which were our Charlottes, which we did very well with, and I was really pleased. There had been signs of blight, so I thought, so I'd taken all the leaves off, just took a few bags full home really, and you know what it's like, you end up giving them to people. So we are forecast really bad weather for the rest of this week, or rather not great. So I think it's probably going to be a little bit too damp and muddy to come and dig them up. So I'm going to dig up what I can today, and I don't know, maybe just put them in the shed overnight or something to try and dry out before I pack them away. So yeah, here I go.
enough now. Just realised that the whole afternoon's gone by and I haven't had any lunch, so I did just have to stop for an emergency banana. So anyway, you know what it's like, you sort of have little munchy things going around, like the odd bean and the tomato and things like that, but I suddenly realised I was starving. Anyway, really pleased with what I've got to take home tonight. I've only got a few raspberries, I don't know if you can see them from there. They're only just coming, but there's enough to put on some ice cream tonight. Potatoes, brilliant again. I've only really tickled the surface because what I've realised is when you take the leaves off and leave the potatoes underneath, you forget where the plant is. And what that's resulted in is quite a few casualties. I don't know if you can see that at all, but the amount of times that my fork came up with like 3 or 4 potatoes speared on it. Language was slightly colourful at that point. But yeah, it just means that we're going to have to use, oh look, there's another one. We're going to have to use those ones up first. So I'm going to give these a good sort through. Oh, look, I can, I don't know, you can't see that, but actually, yeah, I can see you through that hole. I give that a good sort out, but yeah, quite pleased with that. Like I say, only tickled the surface, so I'm sure there'll be plenty more underneath, but that's for another day. What else have I got? Oh, something likes our beetroot more than we do. The beetroot patch that we planted first of all, we've had some lovely sized beetroot from it, but just went to collect some now. Can you see that? Munched all around the bit that's been sticking out the top of the soil. In fact, I've thrown a couple, which I don't usually do. There, those as well. They've all been munchied. I don't know if you see, what do you think that is? Mouse? Possibly. Anyway, I'm going to take them anyway, waste not, want not, because apart from anything else, I use the leaves just like you would do in spinach, so I know we're having a roast tonight, so we will cut those leaves off. I'll probably save the beetroot to make something with tomorrow, but we'll certainly use those leaves like spinach and have them tonight with the potatoes. What else have I got? I've got my garlic is going home now. I've popped that in there. When I was going through the squash, trying to clear out the squash, there was a casualty. So I'm going to take this poor little casualty home. I don't really know what sort of squash it is. I know that I planted Crown Prince and butternut squash. Oh, and the patty pan. The only reason I did the patty pan was I had some seeds from last year. We've got 2 plants. We've got so much. In fact, I'm not taking any home today because I've managed to give some to neighbours on their way past. Because we've got a bowl full. But we were donated a few squash plants, and all we were told is that they were winter squash. Now, that's one of them. It's only small, obviously it's meant to get bigger, but some of them are yellow and they've got these stripes on and they're this lovely teardrop shape. So I've got a feeling, I've asked around and people seem to think it's a Japanese name. Is it uchirikuri? Uchirikuri? Oh, I don't know. A hubbard squash. So it'll be interesting because it's something I haven't tried before. Yeah, like I say, I've been giving my squash away and somebody in return gave me a lovely courgette, so that's from their plot. I've got my 3, what can I call them, casualty tomatoes that will get eaten up. A fair few beans. We're only just starting, oh hold on, we're only just starting our bean collection really, and I know quite a lot of you have been harvesting for weeks on end. But it's funny how it doesn't matter where you are in the country, you'd sort of think those in the south would be harvesting first and it would sort of get later as you go north, but I know people in the northeast have been harvesting these. These are the first of the Wall Écosse French bean. Don't know how big they're supposed to be, but I've picked them because I was excited. So we'll see what they taste like. Oh, and also I've got my little lemon cucumber, which is, they're strange things. They're quite prickly, but they're really nice. They're a nice sweet cucumber flavour. If I had a knife down here, I'd chop it open. It just looks like a regular cucumber inside, but it's just something a little bit different, you know. And if you should want to, you could put it in a lunchbox. So that's good. Oh, and I've got my flowers. Always got my flowers. Beautiful. So yeah, that's it really today. I feel like I've got quite a lot done. We are due for horrible weather. Unsettled is the word they've used on the weather forecast. But in this area it's meant to bucket down tomorrow, so I'm quite glad I've got a few things in A little bit concerned about that blight, but what can you do? It's just one of those things. As a gardener, I feel quite posh saying, as a gardener, usually, like even with my beetroot there, I can think, well, at least a mouse has benefited from that. And I'm being extremely generous here, by the way. If something's eating your brassicas, you can think, oh well, I'm doing something to help the local caterpillar population. But blight doesn't do anyone any good, and it looks horrible, and it turns everything to mush. And I so feel, I know quite a few people have had it already and had their tomatoes just wiped out, and I feel so sorry for them, because we had it last year. And in fact, I was looking back at the videos from this time last year, and it hit us about a week ago, if you get me, a year and a week ago. So I'm sort of hoping that we're going on that much longer, and the longer we get, the tomatoes just get a chance to get a bit bigger. I've no doubt we will get it, but most of the tomatoes this year are that Crimson Crush, as I said, and they should be blight resistant. It'd just be nice. We've already had my onions this year. I'm happy with those. We didn't get them either last year, so you know, I shouldn't be too greedy, but it would be so nice to pick pounds of tomatoes. Anyway, but that's what it's like. That's what it's like. It's like you spend. It's like having a child. That might be pushing it a bit, but it's like you spend quite a bit of time planning. Like already, I'm planning for next year what I want to do, where things are going to go, things that have worked, things that haven't worked, things that need to just be dropped. But you do all the planning. There's the planning stage, then there's all the sowing, and you take care and you make sure you've got the right compost and everything's just so. And at that point, you've got control over what you're doing to an extent. You can adjust the watering, you can feed what you want, use which compost you want, etc, etc. And then you go to put your plants out and you make sure they're nurtured and they're watered enough, and you look at them. And then comes the point where you just have to leave them to their own devices and hope they're going to be okay. And sort of that's when blight comes along and gets you, and you can't fight it. You can't fight blooming Mother Nature. But why she invented blight, I don't know. If any of you know out there why it's been, if it does any good, please let me know in the comments below, because I'm blowed if I know. Right, okay, I've gone on enough now. I'm going to go home. I'm covered in soil. I've got so many more things to do actually. Let me know what you would do with the brassica cage. I'd be very interested to know what you'd cover it in, because we're going to leave it where it is for now and put, I'm looking, we've got some winter brassicas to go, we've got some sprouts and some kale to go in, so we shall leave that there for the winter and then move it with our crop rotation next year. And yeah, that's it for now. I'm almost, and I hate saying this, but I've got to, I am almost at 1,500 subscribers. For about the last couple of months, I've sort of gone up and down and up and down, and it shouldn't mean anything, because in a way, you know, I don't do it for the subscriber count, but it's so nice. It's so nice. It's not just nice to see it going up, because it's sort of, it's like making friends, even though I haven't met most of you, but it's like making friends, and it's sort of, it's just nice to think that people are interested. But I tell you what's really worrying is when it just suddenly takes a nosedive. You do start to think, you shouldn't, but you do start to think, oh my goodness, what have I done? Have I upset someone? Have I said the wrong thing? And you start to pick over what you've done, which sorry, I've just seen some tansy, I'm going to pick some, which you shouldn't, and it doesn't matter. But if you would like to like and share the video, that would be absolutely fantastic. And let's see if we can get to 1,500 by the next, before I get blight, that'll perk me up a bit. Okay, I'm going to go now. This is why my videos are too long. You can't stop me once I get started. I'm going to go and pick the rest of that tansy. I am going to get all this stuff in the car. I have come down in the car today because I knew there'd be a fair bit to take back, and go home and have my tea. So I hope you're all okay, you're all well wherever you are, and I hope the mics work this time. Let me know if you can hear me. I know it actually fell out my pocket in the squash patch, so I don't think that bit's been recorded, but never mind, we try our best. Okay, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.